Hey guys, I'm here at North Texas Couple and Family Therapy, and I wanted to take some time to talk about my particular method of practice. So I have here on my whiteboard what we are looking to achieve in session. So I typically start with mindfulness-based practices, and I move into opportunities for each partner to share in the room with their partner some of their deepest vulnerabilities, and kind of coaching them through that process of responding well and staying present. And then as a result, of course, the favorable outcome is a deepened connection and overall relational healing. So that's kind of the short version of what we're trying to achieve. To slow it down and kind of add more detail. When we talk about mindfulness, I know that mindfulness can perhaps get a bad rap at times. It can be wrongfully associated as this, like meditative process that incorporates even religion that is not necessarily a requirement in order to learn more about being mindful. Mindfulness, the research is clear that mindfulness is a practice that is inherently good health-wise for all of us. It's also beneficial when we talk about trying to regulate emotions, stay present in a relationship, and communicate around difficult topics. So mindfulness is first and foremost the key. And so once we master that, so once we're able to be present, accept both positive and negative emotions, if you want to look at it that way. So accept both the painful and the joyous, healing, liberating emotions. So we've got on one side perhaps sadness and hurt and disappointment and frustration and anger, resentment. And then on the other side, we have a whole other realm of experiences, which include happiness, excitement, hopefulness, just peace and comfort and empowerment. So we've got kind of what we might categorize as two different types of emotion, negative and positive. But if you really step back and you look at it, the human experience is, of course, going to involve both sides of this. So if we are so focused on only experiencing the positive and staying out of that negative column and over here into every experience needs to be positive, we're trying to get away from that which doesn't feel good, then we run the risk of spending our lives running from something that in reality, if we just kind of embraced it, might not be so bad. So mindfulness is one of the best things I think an individual can acquire. And again, back to the research, it's very clear that there are health and relational benefits from the ability to be mindful, be present, and regulate at times when our bodies try to do something different. So then vulnerability, that's a whole different animal. So it's one thing to be able to be mindful and aware of your own feelings and emotions, and it's yet another step to then share those emotions with another person. Soft emotions, times where we feel not good enough, left out, rejected, abandoned, embarrassed, shame. Those emotions are heavy, and they are they're scary. They often feel safer to be tucked away and left inside and never to be shared, because they can feel a bit like weakness. Truth be told, every single human being on the planet, if they're not experiencing some of these deeper emotions, we're looking at perhaps a deep-rooted issue, such as a personality disorder, which impairs a person's ability to experience empathy. So when we really educate ourselves and we really understand the full scope of emotion, we can rest assured that we are likely not alone in having felt some of these deep and painful emotions. So in the room, when it comes to vulnerability, I am looking to help one partner at a time, ultimately both partners doing this process, but one partner at a time sharing a time where they felt hurt, they felt disappointed, they felt not important, they felt like they just couldn't get anything right. So we're looking to share those experiences, and then on the other side of that, that's where mindfulness comes into play, that the other partner hopefully is able to stay present, hear their partner even when their own emotion tries to strike up and become defensive, to say, you shouldn't feel that way, I didn't do anything wrong, those types of things. We want to regulate that, and we want to just turn toward and embrace and acknowledge and validate that must be really difficult to have ever felt not good enough, to have ever felt so overwhelmed or hopeless, like you just couldn't get anything right, or fearful really of being hurt or let down. So when a couple can master that, there is typically no other option but to be connected. I mean, to find that in this life with any human being is really, whether we realize it or not, what we're all searching for. So this is quite simplified and it's expedited. These process, first off, of mastering the ability to be mindful, that takes time. And to be honest, mindfulness-based practices would say we're never truly a master. We are always growing, and we're always learning, and we're always being challenged with new experiences where we have to then work really hard to regulate, and we get thrown for loops when we think we have it all under control. Something can come in and just surprise us, catch us off guard, and we realize, holy smokes, we did not slow that down. We just reacted, and we kind of did the crazy dance that then plays out. And then when it comes to vulnerability, that too is something that even when we learn it, we have to continually remind ourselves. We have to stick to this process. Certainly our partners are also flawed beings, so there are going to be times where we share a vulnerable emotion or a vulnerable experience, and our partners are going to get it wrong. And that, we know, can kind of press on that wound or twist the knife that already feels like it's in there. And so this process is a very delicate one, and it's one that I take seriously. It's the end result, there's so much to gain. So if we go through a bit of hiccups and we work really hard at this, my belief is that the outcome will follow. And as many times as we get it wrong, if we just stick to this process, there is connection and there is healing in the end. So just a reminder, if you didn't catch the first part of the video, this is our goal. And I hope that you find this helpful. I hope it already gets your wheels turning on what you might stand to gain in your own life and in your closest relationships. And if you find that I could be further helpful in walking you through this process, please let me know. I would be glad to join you guys. Thanks for watching my video.